Mint chicken, I'm telling you. So anyway, choya, yeah, jumping cactus. Okay, so you have jumping cactus, and they were so stiff, these spines. They would actually hit the ground and bounce a little bit, and they'd get all over your legs. It happened often. And the thing is, they didn't really hurt, but they would definitely get in your skin, and when they did, it's like they would latch onto whatever. It was like sticky stuff. Like, it wasn't sticky at all. It was just, the spines would get you, and they would just make their way in. So you had a hard time kind of getting rid of them. You know what I'm saying? That was fun. So anyway, that was Karen's original, perhaps original name. We found her. She was a cool dog, really rambunctious. Ultimately got hit by a car. It's true, got hit by a car. I do remember crying about it, which was kind of interesting. It was, I think what really got me is the person who hit the dog didn't stop and didn't explain anything, just kind of kept going. And I think that actually, I remember being probably 11 and thinking that was the saddest part for some reason to me. I don't know, we had a lot of cats before that. I remember we had 3 gerbils. Dad called them the Bronte sisters. That's what they're called, Emily and the rest. I actually was too young to get the joke, really. I knew the Emily Bronte, she was the one who did Wuthering Heights, I believe. And I knew about that because my mom actually is a big Kate Bush fan. And I'm a big Kate Bush fan, and she had that Wuthering Heights song. And I knew that. And then I think Dad had actually gotten the movie, which has Sir Laurence Olivier in it. And I think Hepburn? I think Katharine Hepburn is in that movie as well. I think. Anyway, yeah, I knew about Emily, but I didn't know about the other. I think Charlotte and crap, I forgot the other one. But anyway, the gerbils were nice. They were all black and they all looked pretty much identical, so I didn't know the difference between them. I did actually, and this isn't meant to jar, but since we're on the topic, I did actually kill one of my gerbils inadvertently. It's true, I did. I used to play baseball as a kid. I played, let's see, when I first got there, I was pretty much a center fielder only. I had a great arm, not so big on the accuracy, but I could really launch a ball. You know, I could really throw it far, and you need that for the outfield, you know. Just get it infield. Hopefully you'll be able to hit the base you're going for, but really the point is get it out of the outfield and into the infield. Anyway, I enjoyed that very much, and then they moved me later once I hit what Thornydale Little League called the majors, and I played on the Yankees. Got in there at the age of 10. I was a very good defensive player, but I couldn't hit a ball. I was scared of the ball. I had never been hit by a ball, and before you get hit by a baseball, you're kind of scared of being hit by a baseball. And it hurt, but not nearly as much as your brain thinks. So once I got hit, actually, things were much better as far as my play was concerned. But anyway, I had a great arm, and I played baseball a lot. We had this carport in Arizona, and when Dad was not there, and sometimes, you know, I'd ask him to move the car, and he would. So I'd be able to have a golf ball. I had this golf ball, and I would throw it against the wall, and it would bounce off in odd directions because it was brick, you know, and it was kind of unpredictable. And I had this little glove. I remember playing with a really small glove that I had. I mean, I was at this point like 11, 12, and I was playing with the first glove I got when I was like 5 or 6 or 7 or something. It was a much smaller glove. It still fit my hand, but it was almost like this. Like it was like that much longer, you know, all the way across. And so it was really small, and it was perfect for a golf ball because it was just like my hand, but with padding. And I used to do that a lot. We had a screen door next to it, and there's the metal, the kind of sheet metal underneath it, and I put a lot of serious dings in that. Mom was kind of upset about it, but she's a cool woman. And they still let me do it. I just had to be careful, you know. And I tried, but sometimes, like I said, my accuracy was not exactly the penultimate. So at any rate, I did a lot of throwing, and I enjoyed throwing, and I remember my gerbils got out. And I was able to get 2 of them back in the cage, and there was one that was really slick, really sly, and I'd be lying if I said it was Charlotte, because I don't know, I couldn't tell the difference between all of them. At any rate, I had a bouncy ball. It was a bouncy ball. It was a blue bouncy ball. And we had a circular dining table. I don't come from much money, I'll tell you that right now also. That does really color. I do have more money now than ever, which, you know, is great, and it's a blessing. But in large part because we didn't have much money in Arizona. Very much a paycheck to paycheck working class family. Very hardworking parents, smarter than I think they've given themselves credit for, and so they've allowed people to stuff them into situations that are not really, I think, befitting of their potential and capabilities. But I'm doing what I can to make sure that does not amount to my own, not demise, but you know, I just don't want that for myself. My parents don't want it for me, and they're finally kind of breaking out of it themselves, which is fantastic. And I'm going to do everything I can. My mom's an artist, she's very talented, and I'm not saying that just because she's my mom. In fact, back when I was a punk, this is much later, this is like college era, I didn't really respect Mom's art, and I don't know if I've told her this actually, but she might, I'm sure she'll watch this. They're very caring. This ring, by the way, and like I said, stream of consciousness, you can see where I'm going along the path. There's clearly an ebb and flow to this water. Nonetheless, it kind of spills out to the side every so often, but it gets back to the core values here. Anyway, one of the tangents I will take is, do you see this ring? This ring here it symbolizes, my parents gave it to me when I was 15. It wasn't this ring, I actually lost the ring twice in the interim. The first one was actually ornate, much like my wedding ring, which is the gold one underneath it, designed by my wife and myself. But the one at the top is actually from my folks, and they gave it to me when I was 15. It's another one, but you know what I'm saying, a ring. And I didn't wear it on this finger, by the way, before I got married. I wore it on the other ring finger, on the other hand. So it just means they gave it to me and they said this symbolizes, or rather this explains, this shows you, this is a reminder of how much we love and support you, and we will support you in everything that you do. So it's really an amazing connection we have, and it's an amazing show of devotion. And my parents do support everything I do, so no doubt they will be watching this in the name of support and perhaps interest. I hope so. As will you. I hope you find this interesting. I'm enjoying it. So. Yeah, so anyway, I had this blue bouncy ball. And, yeah, circular table, fridge on the left. This little black gerbil bolts, and I knew the thing was gonna bolt for the fridge, because you know how can you, once you're a human, you can't get behind the fridge unless you move the fridge out, and then it's a real problem. Anyway, what I wanted to do, I knew she was going over there. They were all females, by the way. It wasn't that we just called them this because they were three, the Bronte sisters. They were all females, so it worked out. And I threw the blue bouncy ball ahead of the gerbil, hoping to scare the gerbil and frighten it away from going in behind the fridge. Needless to say, the gerbil was actually faster. I threw quite well, actually. I threw too hard, but I wanted to get there before the gerbil did. So you had to kind of throw it with some speed, some haste. And the gerbil really bolted. I mean, bolted quickly. And I actually hit the gerbil. I hit the gerbil square on with the blue bouncy ball. And I just remember kind of a spray of blood, and it kind of freaked me out, I'll be honest. And that was it. That was it. And I was just kind of, yeah, I was kind of surprised. I didn't feel particularly guilty because it wasn't my intention. And I don't think that, you know, I wasn't a really, I was kind of a loner. I was a loner kid. I'm an only child growing up in the middle of, I lived on a dirt road, to give you an idea. I mean, it's called Turkey Lane. So I lived out there, and I didn't really, I wasn't very close to my animals the way a lot of kids are very close to their animals. I just kind of, I had some animals, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really too broken up about the loss. And I wasn't too, I was kind of stunned by the fact that I just killed something accidentally. That kind of stunned me, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm a killer. Because you're not at that point. You're, you know, it was just faster than you anticipated, and you have quite an arm on you. And what's cool is I have folks who understood that, excuse me, and didn't feel the need to chastise me or throw me into a ward or anything like this, you know, as some parents unfortunately do. I think parents are, and I am not a parent yet, so I speak out of naivete, truly, but I think people are too quick to write off their children and what their children do, either by throwing a blind eye or committing them to either a drug, which is very popular these days, or an actual place. I'm sure I would have been thrown on some drugs as a kid, were my parents to give in to the hype surrounding them with their peers. It's you know, it is what it is. Anyway, my folks never did.